Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet two of the driving forces behind First United Methodist Church Richardson. Their rich history, 139 years old. We'll learn their journey next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
First United Methodist Richardson. It's one of the oldest churches in North Texas. I mean, you would really have to go to one of the old churches in downtown Dallas to find anything older. It has a rich history, 139 years on the planet, and two of the driving forces behind this amazing institution are in the studio right now. Dr. Clayton Oliphint is the senior pastor, and Rohini Drake is the creative director. Thanks both for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Very
Thanks for
cool.
having us.
All right, so let's start with the history. 139 years old. That's incredible. Pastor?
Yeah, our church started in 1886. Richardson was a small farming community, and it started with 13 charter members and a pastor, and it grew. And then in the late 1950s, as Collins Radio and Texas Instruments developed in Richardson, the church really began to explode and relocated several times, and we've ended up on Central Expressway in Richardson, and now have over 6,000 members. So it's been quite a journey, and it's been an amazing history that we've watched unfold, largely due to that growth of Richardson itself. And then Richardson has changed over the years and is diversified, and so now we're almost an entering suburb, but the church has continued to be at the heart of the community.
And Rohini, I know as churches grow, sometimes they can lose their identity, they can lose their culture. I know that there are very large churches where you just feel like a number and nobody knows your name, but you're almost like a Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, and I think that's one of our unique strengths at FUMCR is that even though we're big and you walk onto our campus and it could feel overwhelming, we really take pride in cultivating relationships to where when you walk on campus, the second time you walk on campus, somebody knows who you are. And you feel like you found a community in this big place where, even though the space is large, it still feels like a small church, a small community that everybody can feel a part of.
That's beautiful. We're going to pull up your website. You have a beautiful website, and we're going to just look at the slider because you have so many different ministries and things going on. Pastor, do you want to talk about some of the different things you guys are involved in?
Some of the things we're really excited about, our school partnership with the Richardson Independent School District. We have, we call it Children's First. And it is a partnership with 2 elementary schools in Richardson, and we take that very seriously. And we have volunteers that help get ready to go back to school. They help the teachers. We have these work days. We have an ongoing tutoring program where we read to children. It's very important to get kids on reading level at an early age, and so to find that support and that we are here to make a difference in our community, that's really what we want to do. Is really not just play church on Sunday morning. Any church can do that. We want to make a difference in our community, and the school partnership is just one of the ways we do that. We also like to partner with other great community leaders who are doing great things already. So we have the Network of Community Ministries in Richardson, which has been around for about 40 years, which feeds people. It helps people with rent assistance. We're actively engaged. We have a lot of volunteers. We give food. We grow food in our garden ministry to give to that ministry. There are lots of different ways that we're trying to bless others in the community. And Rohini, you know some of our other partners that we have as well, Austin Street and the Y, and
Yeah, and part of what we do at FUMCR is try to not just celebrate ourselves, but celebrate the partnerships that we have and people doing good work in the community. And lucky enough to partner with some of them, like Austin Street Center. We have a podcast called the More Than Sunday Podcast, where we share stories about people and organizations making big impacts. And about a year ago, we partnered with Austin Street Center to share stories about homelessness and the work that Austin Street and their community partners are doing to help end homelessness and bring that, we're in Richardson, like Pastor Clayton said. And so sometimes you can feel like, oh, we're not really connected to what's happening in the big city or in Dallas, but we are so intimately connected with everything and everybody around us. And so what can we do in Richardson and as a church community to help and support the work that places like Austin Street Center do?
Let's talk about young people, because I know famously during COVID, a lot of young people weren't going to church. They got out of the habit of going to church. And then I saw a headline recently that the fastest growing demographic of churchgoers is Gen Z. Pastor, do you want to address that?
Yeah, I think, one of the things we've seen is that you almost had to start over with children and youth ministry after COVID. It was devastating to children and youth ministries in a lot of churches. So we've built back, and what we see is a lot of young families coming back to church, and particularly that those Gen Z people they're hungry. They're hungry for something more. We've started some young adult groups. We just baptized a young adult last Sunday who's brand new to faith, brand new to church, and she's found a home in our church. This is happening more and more, and it's exciting to see a new generation come to faith.
And Rohini, you mentioned a couple minutes ago that when people come on your campus, it could be overwhelming, but you have greeters, you have people who instantly get them plugged in. Talk a little bit about that.
I can speak from my own experience when I was new to the church about 8 years ago, and I would go and I sang in the choir, and I don't look like anybody in the choir. I didn't at the time, and they just embraced me and welcomed me. And I went home and I told my husband, it's weird. It feels like they've been researching and they know me. I've never experienced this before. And, kind of like you pull back the veil, and now that I'm on staff, and it really is true. Like the intention that happens at every staff meeting, at every gathering that we have to discuss, like how do we make this space more welcoming and more hospitable for anybody who arrives at our campus. It's a constant conversation of how do we make people feel seen, and how do we help grow these spaces into spaces where people feel like they can really belong, which is something that I think, as you mentioned, Gen Z has felt like we're looking for these spaces to belong. And the church has kind of the secret sauce in how to do this. The church has been doing it for over 139 years of creating these spaces where people can grow and, especially for Gen Z, ask questions and wrestle with faith and wrestle with even doubts. And I think that's what is unique to FUMCR and the spaces that we create for the people in the community.
Staying with you, Rohini, for a minute, you mentioned the music ministry.
Yeah.
You have a very vibrant presence there. So tell us about that.
Well, and that's one of the great things of coming to a church with a lot of people and big, beautiful spaces that, again, we've really worked hard in creating meaningful worship experiences, which includes just beautiful music from modern worship, like things that you would hear on the radio in our worship spaces, but then also early church music, and drawing on that tradition of faith with the hymns. It's a space where you can feel comfortable because, oh, I remember this from when I was growing up. But then you can also discover new ways of, experiencing music and worship in our spaces, which I think is exciting for all ages and all demographics.
Pastor Clayton, tell me one of your favorite memories.
So many. I would have to say when we relocated the campus 20 years ago. And so we had to pick up and move an entire campus, build a whole new structure, build a whole new complex. And the faith and the dedication of people to roll up their sleeves and to say, we're not going to stay in the past and stay with what we've had. We're going to move forward and build for the future of Richardson, for the future of our community, and to pick up and leave what we've had for many, many years and build a whole new complex. That was a special memory. It's all worth it when you see new people coming, when you see the lives that are changed, and it's like the young adult that we baptized a couple of weeks ago. To see the joy on her face as she came to faith. Just to see that, that's what moves me, I think, more than anything, is just to see those moments when that light bulb comes on and a person is like, they realize, I'm here on this earth for a purpose, not just for myself, but that I can be a blessing in this world. And when people get that and realize, and that's the way I feel about our church, is that the church exists not for itself, but for the community. And we want to be a blessing. And when we start living that way, something's transformed in the community, but something's transformed in our souls as well.
Yeah. Piggybacking off of that, Rohini, baptism, weddings. These are some of the most precious moments in people's lives, and you guys don't take that for granted.
No, we don't. We enjoy celebrating that. Just like Pastor Clayton mentioned, any baptism. I was in the choir when this young adult recently got baptized, and I don't really know her, but I was just tearing up because you remember those feelings of when my kids were baptized, when I was baptized, and walking through all of these moments of life together and remembering them for ourselves and looking forward to, we can envision it in our spaces that this will continue to happen. And it's just such a special experience to know that there's this tradition of faith of those who have gone before us, and there will be people that come after us. And we're just this moment in time of this faith community that has existed for a long time before us and that will hopefully exist a long time after us. And that it's kind of this tapestry that's all woven together at this one unique place.
I love it. Okay, Pastor, in the last minute or so, talk about the next 139 years. What do you see for the future?
That's great. Great question. And we've just completed a capital campaign as we're looking to the future. We're looking at refurbishing our facilities and reimagining our youth and children's facilities, but really looking beyond that, down at the future. I feel like this is such an opportune time for the church in a world that feels very divisive at times, and it feels very combative. And the church can be a place to build bridges, bring people together in common causes. I've never been in a church where everyone agreed on everything. I don't think that exists. If it is, you probably can't call it a church. And the world is just very fractured right now. But when we can find common purpose in serving our neighbors in need and helping people who are less fortunate, it brings people together, and we can build bridges. And if we can, be a church going forward into the future in the next 139 years, we're going to have a bright future if we just keep our eyes focused on the mission. We've said that our mission is to welcome people for Christ, to grow people in Christ, and to serve people with Christ. We do that, and I think that the future's bright. And we're going to hand off the church one day. I'll be handing off the church one day in the future, and our church will be handed off to the next generation. And it gives me a lot of hope seeing these young adults who are on fire and excited about the church being a place of reconciliation, bridge building, peace, and justice, that we can make a difference in our community and bless the world.
Outstanding. You guys have been amazing guests. Thanks for coming on the show. We're going to end with the website so you can get in touch, and you're welcome to visit anytime. They would love to see you. Thank you both for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.